Once again, it's on. Christians on the microphone. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday Eve. This is another episode of Politics with Pan, formerly known as, I don't even know what the show used to be called, but welcome, everybody. Everybody under the sound of my voice who is listening right now, who will be listening later. What's happening? Man, it is Thursday. I got a fresh haircut. Shout out to my boy Haircut Joe. I know you see the drip, you know what I mean? I had to stop wearing so many hats. It's messing up my edge, my corners. My boy, shout out to Freddie Inglewood. Told me stop putting them hats on. That's how all the homies ended up being bald. I hate that for y'all. I wish you could keep your hair. But, you know, awareness is preparedness. You know, I heard somebody say that before. I got a lot to talk about today. I do not have a guest today. You know, it's not going to be a weekly thing, but I do have a couple of dope guests coming on in the upcoming weeks. You know, a little teaser, some serious community activists, some people who really give a fuck about the community will be on. Man, yes, let me tell y'all about yesterday. So if you don't know, I am running to be the male representative for the State Democratic Executive Committee. If you do not know what the State Democratic Executive Committee is, they are essentially the executive board of the Democratic Party here in Texas, and they have representatives from these groups called caucuses. A caucus is a group of people who get together to discuss an issue, right? So I am looking to be the representative for the Black Caucus, right? Because I'm for everything Negro, right? Black power. You know what I mean? So I get on this meeting yesterday. They have this thing called a pre-caucus screening, pre-convention screening, a pre-convention meeting, right? So it's when all of the people who are interested in the Black Caucus, they get on this Zoom call and everybody, you know, and the leader of the meeting, you know, details what we should expect for the convention, right? So this is the first time that I am announcing my candidacy, but right now this is the second time. Well, third, because I announced it on Facebook. If you follow me on Facebook, you saw this. So I'm nervous as shit, y'all, right? And it's a Zoom meeting. I am nervous as shit. I'm sitting in front of my computer, and it's crazy because I get on here every week and I talk shit, you know, and I rant and I rave, but I was so nervous to like say why I should be the guy to be the advocate for, you know, for Black Texans in this space, right? And my heart is beating, my hands are sweating, and y'all, I went out of turn. Yeah, I went out of turn. I was a little nervous, you know, heart beating. You know, I'm like B-Rabbit up there about to get in the rap battle. Because, you know, public speaking is daunting, right? Like, this is public, but it don't feel public because I'm sitting in my safe space, right? I was sitting in my safe space then, but I can't see y'all. So it was a little like, and I feel like I did a good job, you know, but I'm going to do better. And I will say, right, I don't know if I'm supposed to do this. I've never been a candidate before. But my opponent, that boy he was on point. You know what I'm saying? I want him to know that I'm on his ass. You know, I'm going to get better at this. I'm going to get better at letting these people know what my platform is and why I should be the one to represent Black voters. I'll do a little bit of that right now. So, let me see. I got some comments. What's up, Don? So essentially, right, like the way I see it is, right, Texas has the largest Black community in America, right? And it was said yesterday that we are fragmented, right? Like we are not together as a community, but also we are organizing like it is 1995. And that has to stop. We have to organize like we are in today's age and, you know, like keep up with the trends. And if it's not me, it could be somebody else. But we need to be able to meet the voters where they are. That is the reason why, at least in my opinion, Black voters are not turning out as heavily as they would for Democrats because the Democrats don't speak to us. The Democrats don't say things that matter to us and our unique communities, right? Like Texas is vast. You got all kind of Black people that live here. So you can't say the same thing to these Black people. You cannot address them in the same way. You cannot show up in the same way. Black people are not monolithic. We have to stop acting like they are. We have to address the diversity that exists within our population, or we're going to be in a rut for the rest of life. we have to, like, I mean, I get it, right? I'm on a podcast right now, but I'm also live streaming my podcast, right? And if we want to tap into the youth, we got to understand what they're watching, what they're absorbing. And there are not a lot of young people that participate in these caucuses. There are not a lot of black young people that participate in these Democratic groups, right? I've been a member of the Houston Black American Democrats for years. We don't have very many college students that come through and get down with us, and I haven't seen that in any of the other groups, right? But we got Prairie View, we got Huston-Tillotson, we got Texas Southern University, and so on and so forth, where all of these prestigious HBCUs are, where all of this young, bright, and energetic talent is, but yet we are not using our resources in a way that is utilizing the resources that we already have, which is the talent in our youth and the wisdom in our elders and the fervor of everybody in the middle to be able to bring Black Texans together in a way that actually makes sense, right? And they're the people, right? The people who are, also running for this, they've been in charge. I'm going to say this, right? They've been in charge. So if you've been in charge and we don't have coalitions with influencers, our religious, our faith-based organizing is kaput, right? We do this souls to the polls and all this other kind of stuff, but it's lackluster, right? And also we got to recognize that the Black church is kind of losing its fervor amongst our population. So how do we regain that trust, right? How do we do that? How do we do those things? And that is what I'm interested in doing in that role, right? So, of course, y'all, I'm going to clip this and I'm going to use this for campaign materials, but I definitely think I'm the guy, right? And I said what I just did right now is so much more eloquent than I did yesterday, but life is a journey. Everything needs to be tried. It's always hard until you try, you know what I mean? And that shit was hard yesterday. I'm not even gonna, I was nervous. I was nervous as hell. All them people, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I get so nervous. I get up and I'll rap, I'll dance, I do all kind of stuff. But when I gotta get in front of a group of people and tell them and pontificate my thoughts, I turn into goddamn mushmouth, man. Like just a man. I turn right into goddamn mushmouth, and I can't articulate anything. And I'm one of the most intelligent people I know. You know what I'm saying? Pat myself on the back. I can talk, but I'm no Marcus Garvey, but I will be one day. I will be. I read that boy book, and he gave a lot of good information on how to give a compelling speech and how to be able to, have timbre in your voice and shit like that. And I'm working on it. But this has been a nice journey. If you are a delegate, a Black delegate, and you will be voting in the Black Caucus, I would really appreciate your support. You are going to be hearing from me. I'm going to be sending y'all emails. I'm going to be calling your phone if I can find your phone number. I'm going to be sending you text messages. I would really like to talk to you. I would really like to know what is going on in your part of Black Texas, just so that, even if I win or don't win this seat, my goal is to be able to help organize Black communities better, right? And my non-Black counterparts have all of the resources and data and information that they need to be able to organize their communities and turn out people who don't look like us. But our communities stay in the background. And my goal is to make sure that Negroes is on top. We give this party everything and we don't get enough. So being a new voice, being one who, as they, say, keep the foot on their neck, I'm running to be that guy and I want your support. So if you are not a delegate, somebody that's a delegate, tell them Christian is pretty cool, and he gets the job done. Let them know. Anyway, my artist today is my brother, my friend. Man, this a dude that I looked up to growing up, man. Like, you don't really meet a lot of stand-up brothers, right? Like, family men, you know what I'm saying? Like who stay that way, right? Who stay 10 toes down. And this guy is like that, right? Like, amazing artist and amazing father, amazing role model, the one and only Kurt Quinn. New Orleans born, world raised. My best friend Black, Kurt is his older brother, and Kurt has been a hip hop R&B artist for a very long time. And he got some fire, and I'm here to share it with you, right? So Kurt just dropped a new album. It's called In Real Life. You'll be able to find it wherever music is streamed. This is his social media handle here at the bottom, Kurt Quinn. You can follow him on all social media platforms. That boy dropped music like currency. I think it's a New Orleans thing. But I got a couple of songs from Kurt tonight before I get into the news, to the politicking. This is called Nice Ring. Nice Ring was actually produced by Black. Shout out to Big Black Boy Nola. Black and Kurt, brothers, working on this together. If y'all know us from San Diego, you know them boys is artistic. I wish they brother Carlton will hop on the track. He's a phenomenal rapper. That boy rap like Soldier Slim. But I'm going to give it to you, man. This is Nice Ring by Kurt Quinn. Get into the music before we get into the news.
Oh yeah. Alright. Check this out. Ain't this what you came for? Get don't act shy. You're tired of playing games. Well, I'm your guy. I don't know why he made you cry. Take it from me. Life is way too short to be happy. All I can see is someone who deserves be happy. I've seen you from afar, shining like a star. Girl, you set the bar. Do you know who you are? You're a queen in every sense of what the word means. The one that's in my dream, queen, and I would love to be yours. Don't that have a nice ring to it? Don't that have a nice ring to it? What you heard, I give you my word. Though all the things that you've been through might seem absurd, but they brought you to me, the best place to be. And all I can see is someone who deserves to be free from all of the madness and all of the damage that they might have caused. You deserve applause. Heavy is your crown. Never put it down. But when you come around now, you're a queen in every sense of what the word means. The one that's in my dreams, queen. And I would love to be your king. Don't that have a nice ring to it?
That was Nice Ring by Kurt Quinn. That boy got some jammers, man. Beautiful song, great production. Shout out to that boy Big Black. What's happening? Hey, Sarita, how you doing? That's my big sister, y'all. That's Sarita. That's Kurt Quinn's wife, the queen, the muse. Shout out Sarita. What's up, Fred? We gonna get you on, man. We need to put that in there, man. You know I'm bad at putting my calendar together, bro. But I got you. We'll put you on. We can do it next week. If you're free next week, we can do it next week. Freddie Inglewood be the first. We ain't even gonna talk about it like that. But if you want to get on next week, Freddie, that slot is yours, man. We're gonna have some more Kurt Quinn as the show goes on. This probably won't go into an hour and a half today. I'm gonna be pretty precise. I done started back working out. So I'm trying to make sure my neck's skinny. It's about to be summertime, so I'm trying to get my thirst trapping on, right? I got my hoochie daddy shorts. I've been working on my thighs. Been in the gym doing my squats so I can make sure I got that good thigh definition. So when I'm outside with my hoochie daddy shorts on, my high socks, y'all know he been working out, right? You know, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it when the neck start to get a little skinny. You're gonna see it. You know it. Just know. Between these muscles and these haircuts, whoo, be a force to reckon with. No, I'm just kidding. All right. No, I'm not kidding. I'm actually not kidding. All right. So if you don't know, the Republican Party is killing the Voting Rights Act slowly. Strumming my pain one time, singing my life. This was happening 2 times, killing me softly. That's what's happening. They are dismantling the Voting Rights Act. Shout out to you, Kurt. Love the music, man. Love the music, bro. They're dismantling the Voting Rights Act. So if you don't know, they just had the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 to strike down a map in Louisiana, right? Okay. So there was a court case in Louisiana v. Callius. And I'm probably saying this wrong because it's like a French name or something like that, but it's like Callius. And what happened was the courts ordered Louisiana to create a second majority black district under the Voting Rights Act. When it did, non-black voters sued, calling it an unconstitutional racial gerrymander. So this case made it up to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court ruled 6-3 to strike down the map along ideological lines, right? Meaning the Republicans got together and said, no, y'all cannot do that. What they did was rewrite for a second or third time, and we're going to get into this, how Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act works. So now plaintiffs have to prove intentional discrimination, which is damn near impossible, right? Like it's really, really, really hard to prove. Critics are saying that there needs to be a smoking gun. Like you got to hear somebody saying, we gonna draw these lines and keep these Negroes from voting forever. And even then, when they say that, just because if you ever been to court, you know, like not the truth don't always win. It's about who can spin it the best, right? That's why lawyers get paid the big bucks. So if their lawyers can prove that even if they said some callous shit like that they're not actually trying to disenfranchise people, and the judges with what they saying, they can still screw you over, right? So what this means is that but when the Voting Rights Act came about, they were saying you can use race to help minorities like gain political influence, right? Because that's what wasn't happening before. Now they're saying it's unconstitutional to use race. You got to use other factors to be able to do gerrymandering, right? Which is fucked up because the Voting Rights Act was brought into being to be able to protect black voters specifically. Then those protections were extended to all minorities. But this just weakens the Voting Rights Act even further. It really kind of nullifies it. And this has been going on since 2013, right? So in 2013, there was a case called Shelby County versus Holder. And what happened, the Supreme Court struck down the Voting Rights Act pre-clearance formula. And what the pre-clearance formula was basically the federal government saying, all of you southern states disenfranchise black people. And because y'all did that, before y'all make any changes to how your elections work and like how people are able to vote, y'all got to come talk to us because y'all don't know how to treat them. In 2013, they took that shit to court. And in 2013, the court said, y'all don't got to do that no more. That's why after 2013, all of those different laws that changed regarding the way you vote, that's why those laws were changed. Because the Supreme Court said, like the formula is like 40 years old. It's not based on anything that is current or anything like that. So we can't actually enforce it. And unless Congress makes new rules, this is not enforceable. And Congress did not make new rules. So that shit went out the window and black people lost protections. A couple years later in Jacksonville, the NAACP sued the city of Jacksonville because the city drew new city council members. Actually, shout out to Duval County. Where is it? It's on here somewhere. It's in here somewhere. Shout out to Duval County. Duval! Go Jags. Shout out to Duval County. But anyway, let me go back. So in Jacksonville, they drew new city council maps, right? And they packed the maps. They packed 4 districts with black people. And like Jacksonville, if you've ever been to Jacksonville, Florida, it's real black. It's a lot of black people there, like a lot of black people. But they packed all the black people in the 4 districts. So the NAACP sued the city of Jacksonville, and the law that got gutted today or yesterday, that law actually saved those people. So Jacksonville's council structure is made up of 19 total members. There are 14 district seats and 5 at-large seats. So the packing meant that black voters dominated 4 districts, but had little influence in the other 10. And like I said, if you've ever been to Jacksonville, there are a lot of black people everywhere. North side, west side, east side, especially the east side, south side, like they're everywhere. But they packed them into these 4 districts. So they sued. The court blocked the original maps. The city's revised maps were also rejected. The outcome of this, the case settled in May of 2023. The NAACP's fairer maps was adopted through the 2030 census. So the plaintiffs won because of Section 2. Why this matters now is this case, like I said, the case was won using the Voting Rights Act, Section 2, and the 14th Amendment. But these tools have since been weakened by the Republican-controlled Supreme Court and their decision to say that we cannot use race in determining, in redrawing these lines, right? Texas set the precedent for this when Donald Trump wanted to get 5 seats out of our state, right? So Texas popped it off. Texas made it possible for this to like have a chain reaction across the country. I don't think that people thought that it would go this far, but like, when you plan to win, you plan to win. And we all know that the Republicans are always playing to win, always. So this case, going back to Louisiana versus Callius, it won in Texas. We in trouble. Because since the Supreme Court set this precedent, the Republican Party, which is still in control here in our state house, they have a loaded pistol to redraw these lines in a way that favors them during the next session. It's going to be crazy. You think what we just went through was something? Oh, they finna crack and pack. Oh, it's finna go down. Because now you can't say, hey, that's racist. Like, you can't say that anymore. Like, because saying, hey, that's racist is not enough because you got to prove why it's racist. And it made it really, 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 really fucking hard to prove why it's racist. So, for all of you who are wondering what happened with the Supreme Court, they said, we don't really care about black people like that. We don't want y'all to vote. We don't want y'all in power. And put it like this, like before the Voting Rights Act, I think there were it was less than 1,000 black electeds. And that's at all levels of government, state, local, and federal. Now they're like 10,000 plus. And that is because since the Voting Rights Act has came into being, we have been able to sue for our right to be able to represent people who look like us. We've been able to have good legal footing to say, hey, they are trying to disenfranchise us again. We are going through Reconstruction 1 again. But like I said a long time ago, and everybody be like wanting to say, hey, Christian, don't do white people like that, right? But the people that are doing this, right, specifically are white people in Louisiana, okay? And we know that white people and black people in Louisiana do not have the best race relations, right? Like, you see the white people jigging in the videos and stuff like that, and that's cool. But for the most part, the relationships are not that good. I'm just going to keep it real. Like, yeah, them Negroes down there, they'll have a white partner every now and then, but that is not an example of racial harmony that happens in the state of Louisiana, and we are seeing this. If you watch Gary Chambers' content, you can see that there is no real racial harmony between the whites and the blacks in Louisiana. If there was, they wouldn't be doing this. They wouldn't be coming after judges in New Orleans, which is like the blackest area in the state. They wouldn't be doing that. Like, if they didn't give a damn about you voting, if you voting didn't matter, they wouldn't do this. They wouldn't use all of these laws to disenfranchise you. They wouldn't pay these lawyers all of this money to fuck you over. They wouldn't do that if it didn't matter, bro. because politics is business. We're losing water. Corpus Christi is in a water shortage right now, bro. And them big oil companies that sit on the coast, they're not going to stop sucking up hundreds of thousands of gallons of water every day to cool their machines, bro. They don't give a damn about the people around. They just want you to go to work. You can go to HEB and buy bottled water, but the water around here, we going to use all of that up. They're using all of the water to cool the machines in the oil refineries and the big factories and the data centers, and all of the small people are getting fucked over. And if you are black, you are definitely going to get fucked over because we don't want you voting because you are one of the strongest voting blocks, and we got to figure out we got to taper that off. We got to figure out how to taper that off because we are going to vote in a way that is not congruent with what big business wants. Right now, we do got quite a few black capitalists, and that's fine, right? Like, we live in a capitalist system, and everybody got to be able to make money. But the goal should be able to do things that increase the health and well-being of the African-American population. Now, all Americans, for sure, but this is Politics with Pan, and on Politics with Pan, we are advocating for the health and wellness of black people, right? So, like, knowing what's happening right now, if you are a Negro that know a Negro, you need to tell them, say, bro, like, the stuff that's happening in the government, it ain't something that just don't affect you. You know what I mean? And you might be tired, bro. You might be tired from work. You might be tired from dealing with your kids and all of that, but they want you to be tired. They want you to not come. They want you to not show up. They want you to not come to the city council meeting and say that you tired of your trash not getting picked up on time and your recycling not getting picked up on time and there's possums and there's rats and it's all this other kind of shit that is affecting your quality of life. They want you to stay away, bro. They want you to stay away. They want you to not advocate for yourself. And this is what's happening. They're giving us less of a voice. So and I can get up on my soapbox and I can preach this all day. But the real deal is we being robbed. And they really trying to take us back to the 30s, 20s, 1910s, whatever. They don't want nobody voting but white men right now. None at all. You know what I'm saying? So stay vigilant, stay dangerous, and know that politics is business and business is politics. And you cannot separate the two. Everybody talking about how hard the job market is. Thank you, politicians. Thank you, politicians, for shipping all your jobs across the water. Thank you, politicians, for pushing all this money towards AI, but not giving anybody in the community any money to like train to have any kind of skilled labor, any jobs. We don't got no plumbers. We don't have HVAC people. Like, we don't have any of that. Like, they're not even pushing our kids towards being able to do things with their hands. Like, and there's people with college degrees, with doctorate degrees, law degrees, all of the above that can't find a goddamn job right now. Why do you think that is? Why do you think these people can't find a job? Why do you think these people are struggling? You got PhDs driving Uber in 2026. I just seen on Facebook a Holiday Inn is paying house cleaners $11 an hour, bro, when gas is $3.87. A gallon of gas is $3.87, and they trying to pay somebody $11 an hour. And when I commented on that, they're going to say, well, not for you, but for somebody. But for who? The average rent cost is $1,100. Who the fuck can live on $11 an hour, fam? You know who they are targeting to do those jobs. Black and brown people, bro, who not going to be able to pay their rent, who not going to be able to eat tomorrow. And then they giving them overtime. So, like, I got to take $11 an hour base. And for me to be able to make enough money to actually live, I got to work 90 to 120 hours, maybe 200. Maybe I might need to sleep in one of these beds so I can just wake up and keep on working so that I can make enough money just to be able to live. Because what in the fuck is anybody going to do with $11? That is bullshit. It's not cool at all. You pay somebody $11 goddamn dollars to do what? To do what in 2026? $11 with gas is $3.87. The world is a ghetto, bro. The world is a ghetto. So let's just, let me back up, right? Go back to the Supreme Court case. Texas popped it off. Now Alabama popped it off. It popped off in Alabama when they told the federal government told all of the southern states that have historically been very, very, very racist, very, very, very disenfranchising, very, very, very just mean to people who are not white, you don't need to check in with us. You can do whatever you want with the people who live in your states. That was first. Jacksonville, shout out to the NAACP in Jacksonville. Y'all did a great thing. They fought for their rights to be able to help defend those people in that city, and they won. Now, then, Texas, Donald Trump came through and they said, we need to figure out how to disenfranchise them Negroes, and they did. Louisiana took it a step further, and they took more protections away. Now, I am not an elections lawyer, and I actually don't know what to do next. And I will truthfully say that. I don't know what to do next. I am dismayed right now. I'm a little aggravated, not a whole lot of aggravated, because this is what white people do. But I am looking to people who are smarter than I for leadership in this effort as far as like what we should do next. Our black organizations, the NAACP, the Urban League, Black Lives Matter, you know what I'm saying, the Panthers, anybody, all of the black organizations, there needs to be a coherent effort, a cohesive, coherent effort. Like there needs to be a through line. Like, yes, we all have different ideologies and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, we black before we anything else. So we need to figure out how to come together and fight this travesty that is happening, because they're going to keep taking more and more and more away from our communities, and they're coming for our health, and they're coming for our wealth. And if we cannot find a way to organize collectively and find a collective voice, this is going to continue to keep happening to us. And it's real bad. It's real bad. Like, it is real bad. So, with that being said, it's time to get into my second song of the night by my boy, Kirk Quinn. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the homie. Shout out to the fam. And it's a little bounce jammer. You know what I'm saying? Biggity, 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 biggity. A little bounce jammer. Now, this is... I would say that this is his radio song. It's called Catch a Body. He does have two versions, but I really like the bounce version, so I'm going to play the bounce version. This is Catch a Body by Kirk Quinn. Get into it.
With the hooks go. Get on the floor. Everybody, you know. She gon' catch a body for sure. Okay. Don't stop, drop it low. Get on the floor. Get on the floor. Don't stop, drop it low. Get on the floor. Get on the floor. Everybody, you know. She kill it, she gon' catch a body for sure. Okay. Don't stop, drop it low. Get on the floor. Get on the floor. Don't stop, drop it low. Get on the floor. Get on the floor. Everybody, you know. She kill it, she gon' catch a body. Girl, you know you got me. You made me wanna kick it like a Roddy. You a hot girl, remind me of a body. You know I like a bonus and a honey. You know I ain't gon' play with it. And if there was a crime, you got away with it. You got me breaking rules and spending days with it. And if this bullshit dropping me to rain with it. I like that you don't need no makeup on your face. I love it when you put them beats around your waist. You know that you don't need to worry about a thing. The one thing I need you to do is do your thing. Don't stop, drop it low, get on the floor. Get on the floor. Don't stop, drop it low, get on the floor. Get on the floor. Everybody, you know. She kill it, she gon' catch a body for sure. Okay, don't stop, drop it low, get on the floor. Get on the floor. Don't stop, drop it low, get on the floor. Get on the floor. Everybody, you know. She gon' catch a body. Yeah, she gon' catch a body on the floor. The way she drop it low, it's like she's setting in the score. You need a rubber cover if you like, you gotta go. Cause that's how I be happening, we're gonna go. You don't need no makeup on your face. I love it when you put them beads around your waist. You know that you don't need to worry about a thing. The one thing I need you to do is do your thing. Don't stop, drop it low, get on the floor. Get on the floor. Don't stop, drop it low, get on the floor. Get on the floor. Everybody, you know. She kill it, she gon' catch your body for sure. Okay, don't stop, drop it low, get on the floor. Get on the floor. Don't stop, drop it low, get on the floor. Get on the floor. Everybody, you know. She kill it, she gon' catch your body. Don't stop, drop it low. Don't stop, drop it low. Don't stop, drop it low. Drop it low. Get on the floor. Get on the floor. Don't stop, drop it low. Don't stop, drop it low. Don't stop it low. Don't stop, drop it low. 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 Get on the floor. 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 Don't stop, drop it low. Don't stop, drop it low. Don't stop, drop it low. Don't stop.
That was Catch a Body, the bounce version by Kirk Quinn, my boy. That's him right there at the Mighty Kirk Quinn on YouTube. Make sure you go and follow my boy, man. Make sure you go and follow him. Check out his music. Follow the soul movement, right? That's, you know what I'm saying? My boy into the soul music, it's good for your insides. Good healthy music. He ain't gonna call nobody no B word. He ain't talking about no hugs. He ain't talking about no drugs. You know what I mean? He really on some like just feel good, man. Like, it's the New Orleans in him. You know what I mean? It's the New Orleans in him, man. Shout out to that boy Kirk Quinn for the jammers. The bounce music really got your boy craving some crawfish right now. I want me some crawfish or some turkey necks. Somebody send me some turkey necks. You know what I'm saying? Send some turkey necks to the stool. I'm gonna crack some bugs here in a little bit. I'm gonna work out real hard so I can have me a turkey neck, a little sausage, a little egg. Ever since I moved here, I don't know if y'all know, I'm from Virginia. We don't have crawfish. I mean, I don't know. We might have crawfish, but growing up, crawfish wasn't a thing. I'm from Norfolk, Virginia, South Norfolk. I'm from Berkeley. I think I got, it's like a tattoo on me right here. You see what I'm saying? Berkeley, right? I played for the Cougars. Shout out Coach Glenn. But we have blue crabs and yak. It's kind of like yakimine down in New Orleans, but it's not as Cajun. But we got crabs and yak. But ain't no crawfish. Ever since I moved to Houston, I'm a crawfish fanatic. As soon as crawfish season come around, I'm looking for the nearest mud bug wrangler. You feel me? And I like them spicy. I really like them in the bag, like the Asian kind. I really like that. I've grown to, be a little bit more. I have reacted more positively to the kind where y'all put it in the cooler. After you take it out, you put it right in the cooler with the lemons and the oranges and stuff. If, those people who do it that way, if they really know what they're doing, it's actually delicious. But I've had it that way so many times where there is no seasoning, like actually on the crawfish tail. And I just can't live my life like that. So, I'd rather go where they got it in the bag and I can just, get it in. You know what I mean? Shout out to all the people. Shout out to all the crawfish farmers, man. Congress, I can't speak. I can't talk very shit today. Congress, pass the farm bill, okay? America's agricultural industry is hurting. We need our farmers to be empowered. We cannot let them be bankrupted because John Deere won't allow them to fix their own machines and shit. We got to do better. We have to do better. Pass the farm bill. Pass the farm bill. Pass the farm bill. If you live in Chicago, in Congressman Jonathan Jackson's district, make sure that he makes it back to Congress. He sits on the agricultural committee, and he is one of the people who have influence over the farm bill. So if you love good food, you love America, you love farm, and you would like to be an agriculturalist one day, call your elected representative and let them know that we need a farm bill passed. We haven't had a farm bill since 2018. It's time to do the do. It's time to do the do. Back to the track. So I don't know if you know, but Trump funded DHS finally. Finally, we're gonna applaud that. A lot of black people work for TSA. I don't know how often y'all fly. You go to the airport. It's a lot of black people in them blue shirts and them blue pants. A whole lot. And the government been playing with these people's money for so long. So I appreciate them actually doing the work of government and making sure that these people are able to feed themselves and their families, because it's fucked up how they have been doing them. And good on the Democrats, right? Yes. Good on the Democrats for actually delivering a dub. ICE was not funded in this package. Now, the Republicans did put a little whoop in there so they can, get around the filibuster and fund ICE and another department outside of, having to get the Democrats to vote. I think they only need like 50 senators to vote or something like that. But shout out to the Democrats. Speaker Mike Johnson, you're an asshole. You held that legislation up for a month, because you and your family get to eat, and everybody's around there eating lobster, steak, and shrimp. And all the while, the people who are making sure that we fly safely are, they got to eat Spam sandwich, and you're an asshole for holding that up. All of the Republicans who are holding strong on those talking points that it's the Democrats' fault that these people weren't able to feed their families, you're assholes as well, because that was not the case. And it was wrong. Y'all need to stop playing with these people's lives. It's just not cool. It's not cool. Stop being an asshole, Mike Johnson. Stop being an asshole. Do what's right for the people. Also, John Fetterman, what in the hell, bruh? So if y'all don't know, The Senate voted for the sixth time to reject the War Powers Resolution that will require the Congress to authorize continued military action in Iran. Now, this is 6 times that the Republicans have said we're going to stand behind Trump in a war that we have no idea why we even still fight it. 6 times. And I'm a moderate, right? I'm a moderate. I used to be a fan of Mitt Romney and like some of the old school Republicans and stuff like that because I'm a moderate. I grew up in a military family. And I was listening to, and I'm going to talk about him in a little bit. I was listening to John Whitmire's podcast, 901 Bag Me. 901 Bag Me, it should cost $60,000. It should not cost $60,000. This don't cost $60,000. And it is produced just as well. But that's for a few minutes from now. But he was saying that the Republicans today are not the Republicans that he used to work with, and they're not. Because I'm a political junkie. Like how people like to watch basketball and football, and they know, I like this is sport to me. Like I enjoy this. And the Republican Party is not the same. Like they're completely different. It's they just the governance is complete. It doesn't even make any sense. And the cognitive dissonance that like their constituents are experiencing right now because their leaders are like just doing anything. They're really just following the Trump train because there's no reason for us to be fighting this war in Iran. Iran, despite what Donald Trump is saying, like, and if you think I'm wrong, get in the comments and tell me I'm wrong. But Iran is negotiating from a place of power. They straight. It's mountainous over there. If you look at the map, like we put people over there, it's gonna be Vietnam again. That's off top. All the experts have already said it. We put people over there, it's Vietnam. It's pew, 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 pew. American soldiers coming back in boxes. That's what's happening off top. We spending buku money shooting at them, and they spending $20 basically to our $100 every time. Buku money. And there's no like perceived into this. And like I said earlier, gas, what, $3.87 here in Texas. I'm sure it's like upwards to like $7 in other places and stuff like that. So it's really progressively getting worse. And John Fetterman, shame on you, bro. Like, what's wrong with you? Do you want to be a Republican or something? I just don't understand it. You show up to work in a hoodie. You know what I mean? You don't even, does that even qualify as a jacket? I was told that it's a rule that you got to wear like a suit coat on the house floor. Like, I've never seen him in a suit coat. He show up in his hoodie with his bald white head and he vote with the Republicans, but he get voted in as a Democrat. Like, they need a Houston Progressive Caucus wherever he lives so they can admonish him. Why? If he gets a Democrat endorsement anywhere, I'm side-eyeing whoever said, like, yeah, we support him. I'm side-eyeing it. I get it. Like, yeah, he supports Black Lives Matter and some other shit. But, like, the shit that he support that's bad outweighs the shit that he support that's good. And I'm not like, this is bad. Like, there's no reason for this to be happening. There's no reason for this to be happening. You can say, like, Iran posed no actual threat to America. Now they do because you went and poked a bear. Like, that's just like you walk by this wasp nest every day and they just in there and you don't want nobody to come out and sting you, but you just left it there and it's okay. You spray it down eventually, right? Like you find a strategic way to spray it down to kill everything. They did not treat this like they wanted to get rid of a wasp infestation. And they were just like wasting money. Cost of living is high. They're gutting public programs. Like it's ridiculous. And for what? Right? So I said all of that to say, do your job, people in the Senate. And for those of you who do not know what the War Powers Resolution is, I'm going to tell you. In 1973 is when it was passed. It says that the president can deploy troops to combat, but he has 60 days to either get Congress to approve this or everybody has to come home. So this was created to prevent a president from unilaterally dragging the country into a long war. But since our president rules like a benevolent king, even though he's not benevolent, the Senate is standing behind him, and they're allowing him to drag this war on longer than it has to, right? So we do have laws in place, but I'm not going to lie. People be like, Donald Trump stupid. That boy not stupid. He's not stupid. He been rich long enough to know what lawyers to pay for, okay? Because smart rich people know that you delegate duties. He's a master delegator. He gonna delegate them duties. He got a team of lawyers that is unmatched. And now he the president of the United States. The brightest minds in the country, in the world, legal minds, they all want to work for the government. So he knows for sure who to call. Because when you got that bread, you don't do stuff for yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Take a lesson right now. If you got that bread, you don't do stuff for yourself. You don't clean your house. You don't wash your clothes. You don't wash your car. You don't drive yourself. And you damn sure don't work out legal issues alone. And he's not doing that. And he knows that he got enough leverage as a president because he don't get another term. So he can do whatever he wants right now. He can do whatever he wants because he's not going to get another term. So he got the leverage to be able to change as much as he can before it's time for him to go. And it's really hard to tear a building down once it's been put up. Up top, it's terrible. You can't do it. There was an architect from New York. I can't remember what his name is right now, but he basically, like, he was an urban designer, basically built New York. And what he would do was he would get funding for these projects and stuff, and he would just go start building stuff without like asking the city or anything. But it would cost the city so much money to tear down what he built that he would get away with it. And all he had to do was just go to court. It ain't like he was going to go to jail. He didn't give a damn. Build it and then make them tear it down. That's New York. That's Donald Trump thinking. That's what we fighting against, right? Like that's the psyche that we fighting against. That's why we always own the defense, right? We always own the defense. So just know that we're going to be in this war for a little bit longer. But, you know, thank the Lord that the people at TSA got some money, right? Because it's a lot of Negroes who work there. Hey, all the brothers and sisters who've been holding it down, making sure that we fly safely. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Y'all are doing a valiant thing. You know what I'm saying? Protecting the country and protecting the constituents. It's, you know, it's honorable. And the government, though they failed you, we do need you. We do need you. So, now briefly, I got a couple more minutes. The Mayor's podcast in Houston, Texas. So the mayor of Houston, Texas started a podcast called 901 Bagby, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I've been listening to it and I actually like it. Now, the metrics suck, right? Like, you shouldn't spend $60,000 on a podcast and get 126 views per episode if you're the mayor of the fourth largest city of the country. What the fuck is going on here? The city is in a deficit of like hundreds of millions of dollars, and you spend $60,000, and I get it, right? Like, he's old school, so I do get his thinking. But it don't make sense though, right? Like, you got streamers who get on a phone and get on Twitch and they get millions of people to watch them, and it don't cost them $60,000 to do that. But I don't think anybody around him is talking to him like that about like where we have gone, right? Because like I commented on somebody's Facebook page the other day about Maxine Waters and her not wanting to retire from Congress, right? But there has to be a point, right? Like, because technology is it's moving fast, right? Like, and so to a certain age group of people, podcasts are like the new wave of communication, and it's not. Podcast is old. Podcast was new 3 years ago, but podcasting is old. Why do you think I'm streaming live? So if you're not live streaming, if you're not giving the people that you want to watch you a live, immersive experience into what you're doing, nobody is really watching. Get on Twitch. These kids sit and watch people sit around and do nothing. Like, but they get to sit and watch them do stuff all the time. So if you want to spend $60,000 of taxpayers' money, then you need to figure out the best way to engage the people that you're trying to talk to. If you want to spread information, you can't just get on a podcast. There are thousands upon probably millions of podcasts. You got to get in the algorithm. You don't just get in the algorithm because you're the mayor of Houston. No one gives a damn, for real. No one cares. Because you're the mayor, you're not a celebrity. Like, you're important here. Like, you're important here to people who like participate in the business of government, but you're not really important to the constituents. You're not somebody that they're excited to listen to or hear from. You're not exciting. That's not a jab at you. This is the truth. You're not exciting. Like, being like, I've been saying this, I've been saying it, and I've been saying it. Politicians got to start acting like celebrities. We're not Beyonce, fam. Nobody wants to come and see you like that. It's not happening. So you spend all of this money, you get this guy, what's his name? You get Owen, who was on KPRC2, like, right? You get this high profile local journalist to come and interview you and stuff like that. And I bet that's expensive. You know what I'm saying? He's, you know, it's his company. So he's charging you for this, and I'm listening to it. It ain't no music. It ain't like it's really kind of underwhelming for $60,000. It's really underwhelming. I can see if it was like well produced, but it's not. Like it's dry. Like, no, don't get me wrong, I'm a political nerd, so I like to hear the mayor give updates about different things, and it's interesting to hear him brag on himself. I don't think that he promoted his campaign, like, don't shoot me. I don't think he did that. I think he was just kind of talking shit, like, in the moment. But I do think it's a complete and total waste of money, for sure. And, like, the production and, like, how it is put together, it definitely needs to be reworked, because the metrics and if I'm wrong, if I'm presenting bad facts, somebody please tell me, because I don't want to misinform anybody. But the way it stands right now, like, nah, bro, you're not doing a good job. $60,000, how many episodes? Like, we need to know what we paying for it, and like what we getting. Like, we paying $60,000 for you to talk for 24 minutes. That's crazy. I think one episode was 17 minutes. That's crazy. And it cost you $60,000 to produce this? This microphone, the stand, the none of this cost $60,000. The thumbnails, the clips, none of it cost me $60,000. And this is self-produced. This is self-funded. And I think I do a pretty good job. So I say all that to say, Mel Whitmire, if you need another producer for your podcast, call Christian Alexander, the Christian Alexander on Instagram. And I will help you, brother. I will make your show a lot more entertaining. And they may not hate you so much afterwards. Thank you, Amy. That's my Amy, Nicole. That's my Amy. I love you, baby. I love you. What else? Oh, and then on top of that, right? So if you do live in the city of Houston, and maybe one day, if you live in a different city, maybe one day I might talk about your city. If you send me some information about them, I might talk about them. Again, shout out to the 904. Shout out to my granny, all my cousins. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boys, Darius, Batman, DZ. Wait, Darius, Batman, they're the same person. Darius, Chris, DZ, Travis, Brian. What's up, baby? I love y'all boys. I love Jacksonville, Florida. If you've never been to Jacksonville, Florida, it's a beautiful place. And you can get you some garlic crabs. Man, I can't wait to go home and take my granny to get some garlic crabs. I love you, Mies. I love you, baby. Love you, Mies. I miss you. Alta Mies Mac. That's my granny. Alta Mies. Tell me where you heard a name like Alta Mies at before. I know you ain't never heard it, because she one of a kind, baby. That's my baby right there, Alta Mies. But anyway, if you live in Houston, you know that trash is a problem here. And so the mayor is proposing one way for us to be able to increase our revenue in the city, because we have, we're in a huge deficit, is to make a trash fee. It's to charge us for trash. Now, I think I'm not someone who says, like, don't tax me more. And, if it makes sense, right? If the mayor can make this make sense, then I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna talk shit about it, right? But as it stands right now, I don't know how they can make this make sense, because this is one of the worst departments in the city, and they need to figure out how to make it function better. And charging us more money is not going to make it function better. Like, I know that I know that other cities do it and stuff like that, and they have shown the data and things like that. I totally get that. But the system has to be implemented better. If not, like, you're just gonna take money from people who are already cash strapped. This is the worst time in the history of America to be asking anybody for more money, right? We just kind of went at Lena Hidalgo about this, like, and here you are now, right? Like, you got to make it make sense, bro. Like, you can't just say, like, oh yeah, I came up with this idea. Like, okay, yeah, but like the thing that you are trying to charge us more money for, it don't work. Like, it don't work. It's gotten better, but it don't work very well. So fix the thing first, right? And make sure that Houstonians are getting their money's worth before you try to charge us more money for city services. Like, do that first, and then we could talk about the rest. Right. We could talk about the rest then. You know what I mean? I want better for us. And I think that I think it's a lot closer than it is further, but we have to hold our politicians accountable. And I know it's hard for us to hold them accountable, because they create these systems that make it hard for us to be able to participate, right? Like having community events after 6 o'clock. Shout out to July, because that's a very valid point. There are a lot of things that happen, community events, stuff like that happen at 6 o'clock in the city of Houston. Or if it happens at 6 o'clock in any city, that's some bullshit. because how can regular people get there? They gotta get off work and stuff like that. You gotta really think about like the everyday person and not just like the politicos that you see all the time and the well-to-dos that you see all the time who just have time to go and do things like that. Because if you're really trying to organize from the ground up, you got to make room for the people on the ground to be able to come through. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So with that being said, I'm finna log out. This has been great. I hope you learned something today, man. Next week, be on the lookout. I'm gonna have my boy Freddie ING on. We're gonna, whether you like it or not, we're gonna have a little bit of argument whether the world is flat or not. That's something that Fred wants to talk about. I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments. You think the world is flat, so that we can get ready for this for this bullshit. We can get ready for this, man. Thank you, Kurt. Thank you to everybody in the comment section. Kurt, Sarita, Vibes of Combo, Don, Fred, on Nicole. Love you all. I hope you learned something. I hope you laughed. You know what I mean? And I hope like that you were informed. And I hope we're a little closer together than we were before. If you are a delegate going to Corpus Christi with the Texas Democratic Party and you are a part of the Black Caucus, I am the only choice for this job. Christian Alexander, for the male SDEC representative for the Black Caucus. I really appreciate your support. If you know a delegate, tell them to watch my podcast. Get on my phone number. I'm around. Peace, learning, and laughter. I love y'all. It's time to go. It's time to work out. Got to work on my neck getting skinny. Love y'all.